Hello, folks. Yeah. I did a video earlier about the Mason Greenwood situation, and yeah. What I said can come across as harsh, but part of the reason is because what people don't understand, the CPS are coming up with this BS reason. Basically saying that a few of the witnesses have withdrawn statements and there's new evidence. They've not told us what the new evidence is. Obviously, new evidence supports Mason Greenwood's statements rather than anything said against him. But as I say, from a realistic point of view, the CPS should not. The police can't charge anyone unless they first of all speak to the CPS and the CPS say, yes, we can get a conviction. With the evidence presented, we can get a conviction. CPS have to say that first. Generally speaking, that's the way. I mean, there are times when the police will just go for it because they know, well, hold it, how would you not on this? But generally speaking, the CPS have to say, yes, we will get a conviction. But I certainly think with regards to something like this, with such a big named individual, I think, and the public already know all about it, I think there's a big point that if you take him to court, you're going to get a conviction. Otherwise, you look incredibly bloody stupid, to say the least. So, they wouldn't pull out, because if they've already got enough evidence, they can call a witness as a witness who's now said they want to support him but gave these statements, and they could question them on the statements that they've given. Right? They can still do that. Now, if it's a jury, they have to hope that the jury, or they would hope that the jury, they're going to be, this jury believes that, believe all women, and that sort of stuff. Because that's what they believe. There's no way, shape or form the CPS said charge him unless a few things. There is an understanding, and there is an understanding among the police, that if you charge someone of a serious offence and you say you've got evidence against them, even though you haven't. Now again, should the police be allowed to lie legally? Should they be allowed to lie? To me, the answer should be no. No, because if you are being interviewed by the police and you lie, that lie can be used against you in a court of law, but them lying can't be used against them. If the police tell you that they have evidence, and then it comes down to it in courts where they don't present that evidence, and you're asking why they don't present it, they don't have to tell you. See, the prosecution don't have to present any evidence that they don't want to. So they can lie to you saying they've got all this evidence. But when you go to court, they don't have to produce any evidence that they lie to you saying that they've got. That should be illegal. The reason why that should be illegal is because, certainly with regards to serious offences, there is a fear factor that is going to be there for men. We'll be there for anyone in certain offences. Like murder would be there for anyone. But for things like rape and stuff like that, it would be there mainly for men, because women, generally speaking, don't get done for that. It's a man thing. So, the police know that fear is going to enter, because if that man has the understanding that if they plead guilty now, they might get 2 years. 2 years, maybe 3 years. If they plead not guilty but are then found guilty, they could get 10 to 15 years. What are you going to do? When the police are telling you they've got evidence against you, when the police are telling you that the court system is believe all women, and you've got to go against people where society, if the jury is quite left wing, you've got no bloody chance at all. If you're a man and a woman's accused you of raping her, you're knackered. If it's a left wing jury, you are completely knackered. You cannot rely upon that. You can't rely upon your innocence as being proven. Not in any way, shape or form. Because even that point about innocent till proven guilty, that is actually bullshit in the most. Because circumstantial evidence, which is not real proof, can be the thing that convicts you. Circumstantial evidence could be that in your time at the police station, they asked you some questions, you answered, pretty relaxed when you were relaxed, but then later they said that actually, they know someone who saw you, someone has already reported you being in the area that this offence happened when you said you weren't, and then they say, well, is it possible you were in that area? And you say, well, possible. Well, it's possible. Because, of course, if somebody saw you there, saying somebody did say that they saw you there, what they're trying to get you to say is, yes, it's possible. Why? Because as soon as you say, yes, it's possible, they've caught you on a lie. Because earlier you said you weren't there. Now you're saying it's possible. So they count that as a lie. So they've already caught you lying. That would be brought up in court, and therefore you'll be labelled a liar. Yeah. And that's going to go against you, and therefore anything circumstantial like that is going to count against you with the wrong sort of jury. So therefore, that fear point and people wanting the plea because then they don't have to face a jury, all they have to face is a judge. And the police say they're going to speak on your behalf anyway, because you pleaded guilty, so you've saved a lot of hassle for the victim to have to go through, and so that counts in your favour, sort of thing. So 14 months from the time he was arrested to the time that they dropped the charges. 14 months isn't too long for them to wait for him to change his view, because only recently they said that they actually charged him. They arrested him, didn't they? But there was a big gap between them arresting him and them actually charging him. Why? Because they were basically telling him, we've got all this evidence, and then eventually we're going to charge you. Why? Because you've already got public opinion going against him. And, his contract at United has been suspended, so therefore, the whole world is sort of turning against him, so therefore, is he going to think the jury might be on his side? No. And the more time goes by, the more time he sees this, the more he thinks that's not going to happen. So is it possible that he was charged because they thought he would just plead guilty anyway, even though they had nothing? Yeah. Do I think that's possible? Yeah, I do. I think that is certainly a possibility. I mean, I'd be interested to know how often it happens that the CPS actually drops charges quite close to the point of court dates. I think it happens a lot. When people haven't pleaded guilty after being charged. Yeah. I mean, it happens a great deal. Well, so I wasn't guilty, of course, of suffering to my dogs. Not at all. But when I got in there on the day to plea, I saw my solicitor. I believed, for some reason, I hadn't been in this situation, so I never knew what the situation would be like or how the process was. But I believed the trial would happen on that day. And, because the CPS or SSPCA were there, SSPCA, sorry, yeah, they were there. And my lawyer was talking about the fact he was having conversations with them. And yeah, so I had the impression that the trial would be that day. And when I saw just how incredibly useless my lawyer was, I knew I was in deep trouble, especially as they had already told me I cannot trust the system and I cannot trust the sheriffs. I knew I was in trouble. Yeah. Especially because before I went in, Father God said to me, things aren't going to go the way you thought they were today. Well, leading up to that, I believed that it would be a not guilty, and it would be a smack, a serious smack for the SSPCA. And then God says it's not going to work out that way. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's, the system isn't, it's not as beautiful, it's not as clean as people think it is. It's dirty, it's disgusting. And the police get away with a lot of crap they should not get away with. That is a certainty. And the CPS, and I say their statement, I think their statement was all about them covering their asses. Yeah, making themselves look good and making it look as if they had no choice but to drop it, that they fully believed that what they were doing was right in prosecuting this man. But when they then point out that they couldn't have got a conviction, if they say a few of the witnesses, have dropped out, well, if your whole case was based on that, everyone knows that witness statements are bloody unreliable. So how on earth the CPS are relying upon that? Yeah, that should not be the case. It really shouldn't. So anyway, there you go. I'm going to leave it to it. It's getting late now. I've got a feed bambini. We haven't gone out tonight because it's really windy. And yes, so there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Have a fantastic rest of the week and be blessed and be a blessing. Enjoy. Bye bye.